Okay, everyone, we're back again. So earlier when I did my unboxing video, I was going over a couple quick features of the discharger when I was taking a look at it. So included is this battery lead, and actually this is like a power lead. So basically, the way this thing works is once you plug it in here to the wall, with the included cable, you plug it into here, right? And once you do that, then you got to hook up this LiPo battery by plugging these two ports in here. So to go to your charger, there's a EC8 connector built here in the back. Now they give you a wire. Depending on your charger, maybe you already have an EC8 connector coming out of it. Mine is an older iCharger 406 Duo. It actually uses an EC5 plug. So I talked to the good folks at RC Discharger, and they said, resistance-wise, I'd be fine if I make a jumper to go from here and then put a connector on the other end. So I went to my local hobby shop and I picked up a pair of male EC5 female EC5 connectors. So I'll solder it on this end, and then that way I can use my existing iCharger cable that was assembled from the factory and go to the jumper and then plug into here. The reason I'm going to do that is because I want to be able to use that charger for other purposes in testing. But so basically, just want to explain real quick what this wire's for. Depending on your setup, maybe you can plug directly your charger, into here. I'll grab mine here real quick. So again, this is my iCharger. As you can see, it came from the factory with the EC5 plug, so it won't go into this connector. So that's why I'm going to make a little jumper cable, and then I'll come back to take a look at it. While I'm here, though, let me move this out of the way. So again, what's nice about this setup is, once it gets in place, and then you plug these in, you plug it in, you plug the basically like the little power supply into the wall. Then, once you connect your charger like this, now again, I got to make my adapter, you'll plug it into here like this. And then you can see there's these little black screw heads. Let me hold this up here a little closer. So these little black screw heads, this is what actually the charger will sit onto. What's kind of nice about this design, it's kind of a modular system where they offer, different mounting plates for different series of chargers. When you go to their website, if you order up a charger one of these dischargers that's regenerative dischargers that's made for a certain charger, they'll give you the mounting plates you need. Mine again is for a 406 Duo. So basically, in the 406 Duo, there's these two little screw head holes here, or little axis holes that they use the screws to assemble this thing. So basically, you line it up here like that. So I'll raise it up here a little bit to the camera. So again, it just kind of rests there at an angle, and gravity does the rest, right? It just kind of hangs on those screws, and that's really all you need. It's at a good angle, but if you want, you can raise the screen and change the angle even more. And then it said once I get my adapter, it'll be a little longer than I'd like, but you can see that if you got a connector that's already an EC8, it's pretty sweet. You just go right on here, and boom, you're up and running. So again, I'm gonna put on a connector. I'll put a female connector on my little adapter, and then we'll take a look at this thing a little closer once I power it on, and we'll do some testing at the track. All right, so I got my power lead done. I went ahead and installed it. So again, the cable I give you with this regenerative discharger, it's a EC8 plug. I plug it in here. This is my little jumper because again, I want to be able to use this charger for other testing and devices and whatnot. And again, you just have these two little screw holes. You put the charger on there, and the more you do it, the easier it gets, kind of thing. All right, so that's on there. There's like a little parallel wire here. I have that plugged into the LiPo battery already. So the two things I need to do now, I need to plug this LiPo pack, which is what this lead is here. This is the balance plug. This is the LiPo pack. I'm gonna plug this thing into here. Just gotta orientate it the right way. All right. You can see I don't even have this plugged in, and it's already turning on. And I'll plug this in. All right. So when I plug this in, there's actually, it's kind of hard to see here, but there's two LED lights on here. There's a green and there's a red. And that's all plugged in. When these iChargers go on for the first time, they'll tell you their software version. On their FAQ page on their website, they do recommend that for my iCharger, which again is a 406 Duo, I need to be at a firmware version of 2.18 or higher. That's what I'm actually at, so I'm good there. They do have some downloads in case you need to get to a higher version. Again, this is the 4S regenerative discharger. They offer a 2S, a 4S, and a 6S. I'm using the 4S version. which means I can plug, I can plug in my charge leads for 2 different 2S LiPo packs and charge them independently at 40 amps. The battery that I showed you earlier is actually a 6S pack. And talking to those folks, they said that, they have the original chargers out there that came with these little 6S packs, and they're still working fine today, and we're going back to 2018, right? So they said basically maintenance-wise, like I don't need to, I guess, I don't need to storage charge this LiPo. It kind of takes care of itself maintenance-wise as you use the charger, so that's pretty cool. But they do say, like, for example, if I'm done using this and I need to go do something, right, I need to unplug the LiPo battery over here. If I unplug this power cord here, you can see my charger is still running. It's because it's running off this LiPo pack. So again, obviously you'll drain, and you don't want to discharge your LiPo pack too low. But that's kind of the way you turn it off. You can unplug this and the LiPo, but as you can see, the LiPo is still powering my charger right now. But again, the big feature is that, I'll move this charger out here way here a little bit. So for a long time, and they still work good. I mean, if you want to do this, but a lot of times you use these chargers and you have like a power supply. This power supply actually has one of their little charger stands they offer, which is pretty nice because you can just quickly, let me get in camera here. You can just kind of flip it up and down really easily, and it works great. That's what I have been using. But again, you have to buy this power supply. You got to get one of these, discharge banks. And, when you do that, you plug your, LiPo leads into here. Your discharge bank's going to go into here. And basically with a double, this charger has 2 charging ports, but you got one tied up for the resistor bank. So, depending on your setup, maybe that's fine for what you're doing. But like if you're running a couple of spec classes and you want to get the most out of those batteries, you have to kind of worry about making sure your battery program's on point so that you can get your batteries peak at the right time, because you can only use one port. With this setup, you eliminate all these things. I'll move them out of the way here. You eliminate all these things, and this is all you need now. You need this, and you need your 2 charge leads. So that'll allow you to do 40 amp charging on both sides. And again, this is the 4S version, so I can do 2S packs on each side. So, again, that will save you a little space, and it makes things a lot easier if you got to manage a couple battery packs on race day. Maybe you're running multiple classes at a big event. Maybe you and your kid or you and your buddy are out racing, and, you're just having this one setup. You can charge multiple packs, on the same charger. And I think this retails for like $3.99, which, a lot of people don't like that price because it seemed like a lot to jump into it. But when you think about it, if I want to charge 2 packs at 40 amps each, I got to buy 2 chargers, 2 power supplies, 2 of these resistor banks. And in the long run, you're going to spend more money. And with these things too, how many times have you been at a race and someone next to you is running one of these and you got to worry about burning yourself or dropping some on because they get hot, right? They dissipate all that heat. So you don't have to worry about that now either, right? You don't have to have this metal thing giving off heat that's going to burn you. So that's another nice feature. So another thing about this charger is when you're using it, you want to go through their break-in procedure. Now, they give you instructions on, how to do a break-in procedure on your battery pack. And as far as your settings for your charger, they have, some step-by-step screenshots, which is really nice to help you get your charger set up. I'm not going to go through that in a video showing you how to set up your charger. I think they already have videos out there on that on their website. Otherwise, you just follow these instructions. But I'm going to go through the process here of, breaking in a battery. So once I go through this break-in procedure, which will take a little bit of time because, they have you charging at 1C, 2C, that kind of thing. So you might not want to do that track. You want to do that at home or in your pit space, your setup space somewhere before you go to a competitive event. But, I'm going to do that off camera, get the battery all set up, and then we'll go actually testing it to see how it goes. Another thing about using the system is that you don't ever want to cycle a full charged up battery, right? You want to do a storage charge before, let it cool down. You don't want it to exceed 130, about 131 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you don't want to take a battery that's fully charged, cycle it, because that's a lot of heat you're going to build up, right? That's not good on the battery. Normally what you're going to do is once you go through the break-in procedure, you're going to then want to, take your battery, put it in your car, you go race, you go set it down, you turn marshal for 5-7 minutes, and then you come back to pits. Now, if you're like at a club race, or you're tight on time, you know, you might have to turn on and charge that battery again. It should be fine because it's going to cool down, right? Again, you don't want to take a battery that's super hot and then go through the whole 40 amp discharge and charge again. You want to let it cool down internally, and usually just in the, you know, the natural things on a race day, it's going to cool down with just the time in between the, you know, time you race, the time you turn marshal, the time you come back. And again, you know, if you're at a big event and you're on multiple classes, you might have one battery for each car. So, you know, you might be talking half an hour more before you even look to charge your battery again. So that should be fine normally on a race day. All right, so we're at the track right now. Basically going through the last step in the break-in process, charging these battery packs at 20C. After this, they say to run the pack for a couple of minutes, you know, do your normal cool down, and then we'll be able to go do our 40 amp charge and discharge. These IR numbers are starting to look better finally after, you know, using their break-in system, because again, so one of these packs on the right is fairly old, 3-4 seasons old. The one on the left is about maybe 2 seasons old, and so the IR numbers have been pretty high. So we're hoping that by the end of the day, after we keep running these packs, they're going to get lower and lower.
Mike, you're in front of the pink flag. All right, here we go.
After going through the break-in procedure at home and then heading track and finishing it out and then starting the 40 amp cycle of, you know, discharging and charging at 40 amps, by the end of the night, the IR numbers consistently went down for both packs, even the older one that had like 4 race seasons on it. So I definitely could see an improvement in the IR numbers as the night went along with this, you know, new charging system I'm using here. I did check the 6S pack at one point to see how hot it was getting when I was doing the 4 amp discharge. I never saw it get over 80 degrees. The ambient temperature around the track in the shade was probably 74 degrees. It was really cool for this time of the year. If you were to put that 6S LiPo and say a LiPo sack just for a little, you know, more protection, that would probably increase the heat of the pack. So you could do that. RC Discharger does now provide one of those LiPo packs if you go to their website. But again, if you do that, you are going to increase the, you know, the heat buildup of that 6S pack. So that's just something you have to take in mind if you decide to go that route. But overall, in general, I definitely saw an improvement in the 2 packs that I tested, and hopefully with more time on this charging system, I can lower the IRs more on these packs and give them a little more life, which is probably the best feature of all. Everything I've covered in this video, I've went over the many topics. The best feature is probably that you can get more life, it looks like, out of your battery packs by lowering the IR and being more efficient in the long run. Thanks for watching. I hope to do more of these product reviews soon. Please like and subscribe and ring that bell for future notifications.